Hi, this is Ms. Yost, and I'm going to walk you guys through how to recognize when an author is acknowledging and responding to a counterclaim in an argumentative text. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing in our debates, and we need to see examples in text to get better at that. So I've pulled an article for you from News ELA, and the title of it is Pro-Con. So immediately I know that it's going to be argumentative because it says pro and con. And I know that it's going to give both sides of this issue because it's a type of text on News ELA where they have a pro side and then a con side. And so there's two separate articles, one arguing for and one arguing against the issue. So the question is, are federal regulations needed for e-cigarettes? And immediately I'm seeing a lot of what looks like medicine bottles, but I know those must be the flavors or the juices of the e-cigarettes, just based on the title. So the first side I see from the title here is going to be the pro side, and it says pro, treat e-cigs just like tobacco products. So immediately I'm wondering, pro, are they for e-cigs? Are they for e-cigs? But if I look back, the question is, are federal regulations needed for e-cigarettes? So they are for regulating e-cigarettes. So they're against e-cigs. They're for regulating them, which means having laws to, prevent the sale and purchase of them, to regulate them, having laws to restrict the sale and purchase of e-cigarettes. So their argument is to treat e-cigs just like tobacco products. So that's going to be their thesis in their title there. So in 2014, the Oxford English Dictionary's word of the year was vape. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, should take a hint from the dictionary. It should write its own definition of e-cigarettes, a definition that will treat them as a tobacco product. I love the way they hooked us with a definition and then made the connection to their thesis rather than having us just make that leap, and led us right to their thesis at the end of their intro. So they want e-cigs to be treated like other cigarettes in terms of the law. Congress created the FDA in 1906. It was a time of concern over the quality and purity of America's food and drug supply, which was awash in toxic dyes and preservatives. The agency was shaped by outrageous claims of fake miracle cures known as snake oil. The agency was created to help people know whether a product is safe, reliable, or healthy. I'm making connections because I know that the FDA approves different drugs and medicines, and so they also do that with tobacco products. In short, the FDA was made to regulate products just like e-cigarettes. Okay, so now we're in the first subhead, unproven health claims. So that gives me a hint about what this section is going to be about. Basically, it sounds to me like they're going to be picking apart the evidence that suggests that e-cigarettes are healthy. E-cigarettes have unproven health claims. Right now, more than 16 million children can legally buy e-cigarettes and give themselves as much nicotine as they want. And nicotine is not harmless. So immediately they're setting up the problem that kids can buy e-cigarettes because they're not regulated. Accidentally drinking liquid nicotine has caused a huge increase in the number of cases reported to local poisoning control centers, including the death of a toddler in upstate New York 2 months ago. Pretty compelling. It definitely sounds like a problem to me after reading that initial paragraph. And it is a market that is booming. Last year, analysts at Wells Fargo Bank estimated the overall value of the e-cigarette industry at $2.5 billion. They predict it will grow to $10 billion annually by 2017. The product's growth is partly due to advertising, yet the other part of that growth is the growth in the number of high school students using them. The variety of e-cig flavors, including cotton candy, gummy bear, and root beer, attract young people. E-cigarettes should be regulated, not banned. Right away, I see their thesis right there. They're calling for e-cigarettes to be regulated. But they're giving a balanced tone because they're not going crazy and saying we need to get rid of these altogether. They're just saying the FDA needs to regulate them. So it's very balanced. The FDA is the only agency that can do that. The FDA should prohibit sales and advertising to kids and make sure that health claims made by e-cig companies are true. It should also require companies to list the ingredients in e-cig juice. Juice sounds harmless, but it's misleading. It is, in fact, a flavored nicotine mixture. The liquid nicotine is heated through a battery-powered cylinder, which can look like a cigarette, a pen, or a kazoo. Again, things that appeal to children. All right, so the next section, inhaling flavored vapors. So it looks like they're going to do a deeper dive into that issue of the quote-unquote juice. The devices vaporize a flavored nicotine solution that users then inhale and exhale. Little context or background information. Users inhale this flavored vapor and not burning tobacco. Because burning tobacco releases toxins like tar, this means e-cigarettes are safer compared to cigarettes. Okay, so right there, I'm seeing a very balanced tone. They're actually acknowledging the other side, the argument in favor of e-cigarettes, which is that e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes. And now we're going to see how they respond. But then again, got a great transition word to show us now they're going to counter what the other side has claimed. Okay? So they're acknowledging the other side and now they're responding to it. But then again, cigarettes kill more than 6 million people a year. In the words of historian Robert Proctor, they are the deadliest invention in human history. And herein lies the possible merit of the e-cigarette. So we're back to acknowledging the other side and having that balanced tone. It could be a powerful tool for saving millions of lives as smokers switched from puffing to vaping to ideally nothing. So they're essentially noting the argument of the people in favor of e-cigs that many people use them to quit. But now let's see how they respond. The problem is that the safety and health claims of e-cigarettes have not been proven. Okay, so that key word there is the problem is. That's a key transition. We know that they're now going to respond. The safety and health claims of e-cigarettes have not been proven. So they're saying that, there's not the scientific evidence to support that. Online, many folks claim e-cigs have helped them kick the habit. So here we're acknowledging the other side, yet these are just anecdotes. And if you don't know, an anecdote is just a short story. It's not actual, researched data. In the words of Mitch Zeller, head of the FDA's Tobacco Products Division, FDA can't make regulatory policy on the basis of anecdotal evidence. Again, that's just stories that people tell. So you can see here there's a real back and forth in this section where they're going from, and looking at what the other side has said and acknowledging it and then refuting it. Acknowledging what the other side has said in a respectful way, sympathetic way, and then refuting it. Initial evidence from a major new study should cause regulators to stop and think. Okay, so here again they're saying we shouldn't just act emotionally, we should use our logic. And that's good, that's creating that balanced tone. The early findings from the population assessment of tobacco and health indicate high levels of dual use of tobacco products, meaning that smokers frequently use both e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes. These findings agree with other studies. They have likewise found that rather than helping people quit smoking, e-cigs may actually make it harder for smokers to quit. Okay, so they are then refuting it with actual research and evidence. So I hope that from this you can see how when making an argument, it's really important to acknowledge the other side so that you can strengthen your argument by refuting the counterclaims.